I don't know if it's a gripe, but it's more of a case where like I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced this or is experiencing this now um, with recruiters, specifically tech recruiters. 5 months ago, 6 months ago, even 3 months ago, to be honest, um, for me, I was getting so many phone calls, so many emails, so many LinkedIn messages, etc., by recruiters, and they were aggressive, trying to get actively they're actively getting aggressive, trying to contact me via phone call, via text message, outside of email. So I'm like, oh, phone calls. I think people know, people don't answer nowadays. It's text messaging, but in reality, for me, my text messages they go to spam unless you're in my contacts, spam. But in any case, it was really weird. 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I was like, all right, I'll talk to him, more than curiosity, because for me it comes down to curiosity more than anything else. If, the company they're talking to, and like if it's a new company, I was like, all right, let's see what they do, more than anything else. And it was a case where getting so many, I would, like kind of say, okay, fine, here's my resume. Not really caring, because like, look, usually everywhere I've gone to, I was like, fine, here's my resume. I don't care. I'm not really looking to leave. Never was looking to leave, but in this case, um, they gave me a resume, had me go into, sort of coming close to an interview or such. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And then usually for me, I would just do the interview, but more of anything else, to do the interview out of courtesy, but not more courtesy, but more of like just to see where my skills are at, to see if like do I still have it. Basically, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And now, like I just happened to see like a few recruiters that were like took my resume, um, were supposedly submitting me to other companies. I'm like, all right, I was just curious. I'm like, hey, look, kind of not getting any responses from them. Like, followed up with them, nothing. I'm like, a few more responses to them or emails sent to them, as well as text messages now to them, nothing. I'm like, what the? And then all of a sudden, like, I'm realizing I've been ghosted by these tech recruiters. I'm like, why am I being ghosted by these tech recruiters? And then I realized, all these big tech companies, Facebook, Meta, Facebook Meta, sorry, basically the same thing, Alphabet slash Google, Twitter, Salesforce, etc., Oracle, they're doing these layoffs. And so these recruiters are jumping at those people that were laid off. I'm like, okay, fine by me. Don't doesn't not a concern for me, because like these companies that they were recruiting for were not the big tech companies. They were recruiting for like the smaller companies, but they just needed the talent to put in there basically to see if they can get them in. I'm like, all right, whatever, yeah. And they ghosted me because of that. And I'm like, whoa, okay, so this is how you guys work. You go for those that are desperate to work and that they won't leave their company, which makes sense. But, it's more of a case like you want for those that are desperate and you want them to get there as quickly as possible into these companies. I'm like, okay, fair enough, fair enough. And it was one of those things. I was like, you know what? But for me, it's like, fine, if you're gonna do that, just let me know at least. Like common courtesy is like, hey, like sorry, um, like the position we're putting in other candidates. Because I specifically remember as a test to one recruiter, I tested him out. I was like, hey, position closed or anything like that, or have they filled it, backfilled it, or something like that, or is it on hold? He comes back to me. He's like, yeah, the position's on. I got back with the hiring manager. The position's on hold. I'm like, okay. I actually know someone that worked at the company. He's like, hey, out of curiosity, is the position on hold? He says no. They're still actively looking. Like they're getting an influx of resumes. I'm like, oh, out of curiosity, are you getting it from? He's like, yeah, like he's sending people from Facebook basically. I'm like, interesting. So he chose. So this recruiter chose the Facebook people over me. I'm like, interesting, interesting. That's when I came to the realization. You know what? I'm not gonna forget this. I'm not gonna forget this. With recruiters, if I ever start up a company, I am never gonna work with recruiters. Some people want to do that. For me, it's more because like I'd rather work with recruiters where they follow up with people and they have the common courtesy. I mean, I try to be courteous with these recruiters, I try to say, say like, no, you know what, I'm not interested. Sorry, thanks for the help, or thank you for looking, but I'm not really interested right now. Or two, I would just say like, not really looking, but thank you. At least I respond back fairly quickly. These guys, if they're gonna ghost me like this, you know what? And that means they're gonna ghost other people down the line, which just means possibly that if they go with a bigger client, they're probably gonna ghost me. Then if I'm a startup, I'm like, you know what? No, if that's the case, I might as well just do something that's automated at that point. Create an automated system for people to just like come in and basically get come in and essentially submit their resume. More than anything else, if I want post it on LinkedIn, post it on Indeed, whatever it may be, and then worst case, find people, scrape through LinkedIn, go through the APN and Indeed, and basically find candidates, and then maybe email them directly at that point too, as well too, to be honest, versus having to like on an automated way basically, and talking from there versus having to use recruiters. Uh, Honestly, I'm surprised there's nothing out there for that. Um, Here's a business idea, but honestly, I'm not going to be creating a piece of software to do recruiting. Actually, to be quite honest. Anyways, it's it's one of those things where, like I said, I don't forget. I do not forget. So if I ever do start up a company, first thing I'll basically do is first change my phone number, so they'll never contact me, and change my email and my Gmail address for that matter to make sure that they'll never contact me from there as well too. If they do want to contact me, they're like, "Hey, do you remember me?" Nope. I'll just say, "Sorry, nope." But that's on them, and a little bit on me as well too, to be honest. But you know what? It is something that I will not forget. Um, this is me, unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed.